Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dinkytown Sports Podcast with your host Cody Hain, Cameron Madsen, Christian Otadi, and Zach Hain. How's it going tonight, boys?
Well, we're here.
That's a good thing. Good to see you again, Cam. We missed you on Monday.
I don't.
Well, he missed a heck of a conversation, but I will let him have his opinion at the end of tonight's show so he gets his say in. But we're just going to hop right into these games here. First up, we got Minnesota at UCLA. Minnesota heading out to Cali for the first time in the Big Ten play. Zach, how do you feel like we're going to do our first game in California?
Well, since you're so kindly going to me right away, I don't think UCLA is good, and this is the first time we've been in the Rose Bowl for a long time. So I think right off the bat, I'm going to start us out hot, and I'm going to take Minnesota minus 3.5. I think we're going to have a really dominant offense this game, as UCLA's defense is quite literally one of the worst in FBS. So I'm going to take Minnesota minus 3.5. I think this is a pretty easy pick here.
All right. Well, I'm going to concur with you there. I don't have a whole lot of in-depth look in this game just because I think UCLA is a bad football team. I think Minnesota's a football team that's starting to figure it out. So I'm going to take Minnesota minus 3.5. Cam, who do you got here, buddy?
Well, I believe for the old Gophers, this would be a trap game. You come off of a big win, and then you play a much lesser opponent, and that's normally a game we would drop. But we played. I thought we played very well last weekend, and even Michigan was pretty close. Iowa, we had the lead at halftime. I mean, we've been playing well. We've just been struggling down the stretch of games. Other than Michigan, we struggled in the beginning. But I think UCLA is terrible. And I love that it's only 3.5.
Me too. So I think it's okay. I think it's a free pick as well. Christian, who do you got? Mm. Sounds good. I would just like to say, Wild are out now up 3-1. So I just heard I just heard the horn go off in my bedroom. I have it on so I could hear.
One other thing about UCLA, yeah, they've had a tough schedule, but if you go to their first game, they only beat Hawaii by 3, and Hawaii is nothing special. So I am confident in our pick. I don't see a reason why if we come out and play like we've been playing against USC, Michigan, first half of Iowa, I feel like this is a no-brainer.
All right. So next up, we have an interesting matchup because Washington kind of burned me. We have Washington going to Kinnick to play Iowa. The line is Iowa -3. The over-under is 42.5. And I'm sorry, the over-under for the Minnesota game is 40.5. And the spread is 3.5. So, but this one is Iowa favored by 3, over-under 42.5. I'll start this one off. I'm going to believe in Iowa's defense. That defense is impressive. And they have Caleb Johnson, and he's one of the best backs in the league. So I'm going to take Iowa -3 here. I think the under would be a good shot. That defense that Iowa has is very good. Their offense, not so much, but they at least have some sort of offense. This is still better than they were last year because they have something. Because they didn't even have a run game last year. So saying that, I'm taking Iowa -3. I hate the Hawkeyes, but I'm trying to get my record up here, so it's definitely Iowa -3. Christian, who do you got in this Big Ten tilt? What's that? Oh, that's cool. Oh,
Oh boy, oh boy.
I just
kid.
wait. Hold on. Okay, I think we're good now. You guys talk.
We had some technical difficulties.
Yeah, sorry guys. I picked Minnesota. YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube only. Okay. Sorry, everyone. For this one, Washington played a great game last week, and I think that's like their coming out game. I don't think you can stop this offense right now. They're cooking. Rodgers is cooking. And I think Iowa is a worse version of Michigan, like almost to a T. They run the ball, and their defense is good. And that's it. And I think that's going to translate well for them. So I'm going to take Washington +3.
I can definitely see that. I just think that Iowa has a better running back than Michigan. So. Yeah. All right, Zach, who do you got in this matchup here?
No, it was really hard to not make this my stupid pick of the week and do the push again. There's been a lot of 3-point games recently, but I'll deter away from that. I got a much better pick coming up here soon. But I agree with Christian here. I think Washington, after beating Michigan last week, I think that's a really good win for them. I think they're going to be able to come out and do what they did against Michigan to Iowa. Iowa obviously probably has a little bit better of a defense here. I don't think there's really much of a question, but their offense is not the greatest in the world. Obviously, they do have a more than likely going to be a second-team All-American running back here. So I think he's going to have to carry them a little bit like he has been doing, but I don't know how much he'll be able to do against Washington. I'm still going to take Washington +3. I think Washington gets the job done no matter what.
All right. I think you're all wrong. I'm proud to be the one guy going against the grain here. It's going to have me make up some ground here, I think. Next up, we have Wisconsin at Rutgers in Piscataway. I just wanted to say that name because Piscataway is kind of fun to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, what's up, Cam?
One thing before Cody skips over, I do have my picks in our Excel sheet, but I also took Washington +3.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Kind of.
Yeah.
You're a terrible host.
Yeah, once we figure out how to get Cody off the show.
Yeah, off the show that I came up with. Let's kick that.
Oh my God, take a joke.
Anyways,
we're going in our creative differences, Cody. I'm sorry, but
creative distance. Yeah. All right, deuces, boys. Anyways, sorry about that, Cam. Won't happen again. Mostly because I'm gonna have you go first this game. There you go. All right. So we have Wisconsin going to Piscataway to take on Rutgers. Cam, who do you have in this matchup?
Well, somebody blacked out all my picks.
Yes, I blacked out the future
pick.
picks. We're not on that game yet.
Oh.
Okay? It's
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Rutgers by 2.5.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Rutgers by 2.5.
So-
Over under 43.5.
Oh my God, guys, what are we doing?
So I took Rutgers -2.5. I haven't been impressed at all with Wisconsin this year. Rutgers, they've been battling out. They're making a push towards being at the top of the Big Ten, so I'll give them credit there. But I do like Rutgers' offense. I'm not a huge fan of Callie McManus, but they beat Washington, which is proving to be a big win. Sure, Wisconsin beat Purdue 52-6, but against tougher competition, they really haven't shown up yet. So I'm going to ride that wave and take Rutgers -2.5. And they're at home.
Yeah. So I'll go next here. Wisconsin, the Skunks have not done well this year. Purdue is more or less a Division II team this year. I don't like Purdue, as you can tell. I'm going to take the Rutgers minus 2.5. I think Rutgers has a better defense, and I think their offense is better. Ethan Kaliakmanis isn't lighting the world on fire, but he's doing pretty dang good. He's doing a lot better out there than he did for us last year. And part of that is he might be back with Shiraka, the guy that wanted him. So that might be part of it. So, but I'm going to take Rutgers minus 2.5 here. Christian, what do you got?
We all know I love Piscataway. Tough loss for them last week against Nebraska. A really weird one where there was only 21 points scored. But I think I'm also going to ride with Rutgers. I think Wisconsin has the offensive capabilities to stay with Rutgers, but I don't think that their defense is going to be able to hold up. They're not going to stop that run game for sure. And if Kaliakmanis can stay as clean as he has, I think he had a couple picks maybe in the Nebraska game, but if he can stay as clean as he's historically been so far this season, this should be a pretty easy mop up for Rutgers.
All right. Zach?
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with all of you here. I don't know if you guys watched the Rutgers-Nebraska game, but that was worse than any Gopher game I've watched in the past 5 years. I mean, it was terrible. Anytime somebody got open, drop ball, no matter it, like I'm pretty sure there's 2 or 3 times where it hit the dude in the face mask and he just dropped it. Kaliakmanis could not throw a ball to save his life. Nebraska did not impress me at all. I mean, I know Rutgers has a decent defense, but I mean, Raiola didn't look the greatest. Their offense didn't look the greatest. I don't know if it was just that much of a defensive battle that they only scored 21 points combined, but I didn't like that game. I think Wisconsin is going to be able to use the game plan that Nebraska did to like settle down their offense and stop the run game for the most part. So I'm actually going to take Wisconsin plus 2.5 here. It really pains me to do this, but I let you guys have your fun, and my picks are what's going to be the best picks from here on out.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Whatever you say. All right. So now moving on to Penn State going out to USC. I kind of have a feeling I know where this is going here. Penn State only being favored by 3.5 is kind of a slap in the face because USC is not good. I mean, I know they're decent. They are decent, but as the number 4 team in the country, Penn State minus 3.5 is kind of disrespectful. So I'll just go first because I realize that going first kind of sucks sometimes. I'm going Penn State minus 3.5. That's kind of a slap in the face. The over/under is set at 50.5, by the way. So yeah, I'll go Penn State minus 3.5. I think it's a free pick, and that's all I gotta say. So Zach, who do you got?
I mean, I really think this line is stupid. This is really a crime here. I don't know if Vegas knows something that none of us have any clue about because this line is terrible. I'm also going to take Penn State minus 3.5. I think this is a really easy pick. I mean, the matchup predictor has USC at a 51%, which I don't know why. I think everybody's hating on Penn State for no reason. Drew Aller isn't a star-studded quarterback by any means, but he plays cleanly, doesn't throw interceptions, doesn't turn the ball over. I think he's what they need to continue to rise to the top, and everybody knows I'm really high on Penn State this year. I think they have a really good team. Their offense has struggled a little bit so far. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a game that boosts their confidence playing a not-so-good defense. So I'm taking Penn State minus 3.5 here. Don't be surprised if Penn State is undefeated going into Minnesota.
All right, before we get to you two, I forgot I was going to make a comment on this before Zach went there. USC is soft. Their run game was good against the Gophers, but their defense is soft. Christian can shake his head all he wants to, but USC playing against a good Big Ten offensive line is going to get run through. This is not the Pac-12. This is not a West Coast style offense in the Big Ten. I think they're going to get run through. All right, Cam, what do you got?
Let's see what's melting in Christian's brain here. I'm kind of eager to hear what he has
All
to say
right.
first.
I was saving him for last for that reason, but Christian, go ahead.
You guys know the Catholics at Notre Dame, right?
Yes.
They set the
They suck.
precedent for bounce back games this year. When they came off that NIU loss and they have had their warpath, I think that's what USC is going to go to right now. I think Miller Moss is feeling the heat. I think Lincoln Riley's feeling the heat, and that's what scares me the most. I think this is going to be the best offensive game plan that they'll have all year. I think Penn State is massively overrated, and Zach and I have always disagreed on that.
Ooh.
We've always disagreed on that. I think once Drew Aller gets into USC, and he's going to find out what they're all about. Their secondary is pretty good, and yes, Minnesota ran all over them, and they have Singleton, which could also end up being the problem there. I think that they're going to prep really well for this game. I think it's possible that Penn State wins, but I think USC can cover. So I'm going to go USC plus 3.5.
So you're thinking probably last second field goal or
Something.
Penn State with an interception.
This is
to seal
not.
it or something.
Penn State is not good enough offensively to blow this team out.
I
Okay.
think Christian is a little bit threatened by Penn State after Alabama's loss at Vanderbilt. I think that's kind of what's going on here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Pull up the all-time Alabama Penn State record and let me know.
I have no
Hey,
idea.
I could just pull up the Minnesota-Alabama record. That's all I need.
I do know that one.
Yeah. Minnesota undefeated, baby. All right, Cam, what do you got here?
Oh, when I was first looking at this, I was thinking of taking Penn State. But I was a little worried about jet lag because think about how far Penn State has to travel to Southern California, all the way across the country. Your game plan can be good, but if your guys are tired, they're a little stiff from the plane ride, it can always affect you. What I do know is there will be points in this game. I feel if USC gets on top early, Penn State's going to have to battle back, and I feel Penn State can put points on the board against USC. All I need is 25 from each team, and that's not bad. So I see this game being 27-25, 28-25. It's still going to be close. The spread's probably going to be right on, but each team's going to have well over 22. So I feel the over safe, probably won't hit, but that's what you got to live with.
I mean, now that you picked it, it probably won't. We are terrible at picking the over-unders.
Whoa,
I had
whoa,
pretty good. I
whoa,
had pretty
whoa.
good for my circumstances last week.
Well, Christian took
You
offense
gave
to
yourself
that,
those
but-
circumstances.
Yeah, quit blaming other people, Rob.
Do not say I did. Christian said I wouldn't be able to do it and do it well, so I had to take the challenge. It's just how it works.
I'm just setting you guys up to keep going
He
down,
just
and
want-
I'm going all the
yeah,
way up.
he just wants to get
See,
up.
here's
That's a
the
long
problem. Like, I let you guys have your fun. I'm
You've
ready
said
to
this
take
every
back
week
over
for the
the-
past like 4 weeks.
Yeah, but I'm picking smart now. Like I know things. Like I'm back to knowing ball. Saying that right now. I'm back to knowing ball. You
No,
better watch out, Christian.
You have to earn that title back.
Yeah, you have to earn it. Christian knows ball right now. Christian knows ball.
I just want to say, every week my winning percentage goes up 0.1%. So
Attaboy. That's all that matters.
I'll catch up to you guys eventually.
We're expecting that trend to continue with Cam.
Yep. We're hoping that we all get back over 500 again. All right.
That'll happen. Like,
Yeah. So next up, we have probably the biggest game of the week. Definitely the Big Ten game of the week. Depending on where you're at, I guess. Ole Miss and LSU might be a big game, but I think this one's the biggest game in the country. We have Ohio State going out to Oregon. Ohio State is ranked number 2. Oregon is ranked number 3. Top 5 matchup in the Big Ten. I mean, Ohio State hasn't impressed me a ton. Oregon has not impressed me a ton. I think they're slowly starting to find it. Both teams. I don't know what that means because this college football season has been extremely weird. Teams are losing, like Bama losing to Vandy. It's just been a weird year. It kind of reminds me of 2007. So,
Yeah, you know what
anyways.
happened that year.
2007 was probably the craziest year of college football. Missouri almost ended up at the national championship that year, and Kansas was ranked number 1. So, all right, I'm gonna let Cam start off here. What do you got for us, big guy?
Well, I originally had the over, but I'm not sure I'm loving that right now. Yes, both teams put up points, but they don't really give up much defensively. And I'm kind of afraid that Ohio State won't give up a lot of points. It's a huge game. And we know that when it comes to crunch time, Ohio State plays in big games. Oregon, yes, they have, but it's a brand new team with Oregon this year. Biggest competition they faced so far this year, I'd say, is either Boise State or Oregon State. And the Boise State game, they only won by 3. Yes, Ohio State really hasn't played anyone, but change my bet to Ohio State -3.
Okay. So Ohio State did kick the living crap out of Iowa. I know that's not like we don't believe Iowa's that good, but they were receiving votes at that point. So, I mean, they weren't a terrible team by the national standards, I guess. The thing is with Ohio State, none of the games have been close. Ohio State has run through everybody. 52-6 versus Akron, 56-0 against Western Michigan, 49-14 against Marshall, 38-7 against Michigan State, and 35-7 against Iowa. And some of these games they have started out slow, but their talent has definitely overcome their slow starts in the second half. I am also going to take Ohio State here, -3. I think Oregon is good. I don't think Oregon is top 5 good. So I'm going to take Ohio State -3. I'm going to throw this over to Christian because he might have a different view than all of us on this one. So, Christian, who do you got here, bud?
Nope. Nothing new. I don't like Oregon. I've been pretty low on them all year. They were shaky at the start. They managed to grind out their wins, which is good. I like Dan Lanning. They're at home. There's a lot to like about Oregon in this game. This is about as good of a situation that you could want in this kind of game for them. At home, Ohio State having to travel. I mean, Gabriel versus Howard is probably going to be the best quarterback matchup we've had so far this year in a game. So it'll be fun. Judkins, James. I mean, these teams are like basically the same on paper, in my opinion. I think Ohio State saying they haven't played anyone is a little is a backhanded compliment because Michigan State I thought was pretty good this year, and Iowa has been all right. They both played Michigan State, and they basically beat them exactly the same. So this is probably the hardest game all year that we're gonna pick, in my opinion. This is like as coin flip as the Georgia-Bama game was, if not even more. You guys all picked Ohio State. I'll go Oregon, I guess, +3.
Christian says he wasn't going to disagree with us, and he disagrees with us.
I talked myself into it because
all these things are
I really like Dan Lanning. I really like Dan
was
Lanning.
going to happen.
Cam, did you have something
Dylan
to say?
Gabriel is on Heisman watch apparently. Have you seen that?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how much I. Me,
All right.
he's having a really good year.
Jeremiah Smith
statistically.
for Ohio State is like one of the best receivers in the country. So this is
Top-
going to be
top 2.
This is going to be so interesting. This is what I'll be watching. It's at a clean 7:30 for me out here, so that's nice, even though it's a Pac-12 after dark situation.
Nope. The Pac-12 after dark is Minnesota UCLA. Hell yeah, dude!
That's very true.
I've been missing the Pac-12 after dark.
You know, I feel
Same
better
thing with
about
the
my pick
action.
because Josh Pate picked Oregon. So I'm gonna ride with my friend.
Well,
My
and the
parasocial
funny,
relationship.
I'm gonna let Cam say what he needs to say here. Cam, what did you have to say there, buddy?
Lynx win game 1 of the WNBA finals.
Dang,
in
they came
593.
back.
They
Last
sure
time
did.
last time I looked, they were down 12.
How did Caitlin Clark do?
Yeah, how did Caitlin Clark do?
Brianna Stewart blew a layup with the chance to tie it.
What
Women's
else is
basketball.
new? Brandon Knight. Brandon Knight.
Anyways, thank you, Minnesota Lynx. Bring back another championship. You're one of the few teams that have been winning championships up here, so bring it home.
Only.
True.
We
True.
should be
The only. Hey, maybe the Timber Puppies this year.
Don't
All
get
right.
your hopes up.
I'm a Minnesota fan. My hopes are never up unless it's the Vikings.
Unless it's the New York Mets.
Mets,
I'm
baby,
not-
the Mets.
As soon as the
I'll
Vikings
film-
hit 5-0, I was like, I'm ready to be crushed again.
It's all about the Mets, baby.
Wrong. Anyways,
Yankees Mets World Series, anyone?
Zach, who do you got in the Oregon
Well,
Ohio
I was
State game?
Really hoping you were gonna skip me there so I can make fun of you again. But I knew Christian was gonna go Oregon +3. I'm pretty sure half of that is because he does not want to like Ohio State. I think Ohio State is top 2 in the nation right now, and I don't think they're number 2. I think that they are better than Texas right now. I think they're better than Alabama. I think they're better than Georgia. Ohio State is my top ranked team in the country right now. So, I mean, I'm going to have to ride with them. This is a really good test for them. This is a really good Oregon team. So, I really think Ohio State is going to come out with a win here. If Oregon is, I'm assuming Oregon's going to be up by 7 at halftime. But Ohio State is a really good second half team this year. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case that Ohio State wins by 2 or more possessions here. So I'm going to take OSU -3. And I really think Ohio State's going to come out with a really big W here.
I'll have it be known that I tweeted that Ohio State is the best team in the country. That is public knowledge, and I said that last week. After Alabama
Attaboy.
lost, I said that Ohio State is the clear number 1, and people were telling me Texas.
I wouldn't say clear, but I would definitely say number 1.
I think it's pretty clear they're number 1. But Oregon, I'm telling you, the environment for Oregon here is perfect. At home, they travel a ton. They have to fly in. They're going to be exhausted. Someone's going to get sick. We're going to have puking linemen for Ohio State.
That's electric, though. Puking linemen are
In
that's a
Eugene,
ultimate
that's
threat right there.
for an evening
Might as well
game.
just throw up right over the ball.
Why'd you call your own number? There was throw up on the football. Oh gosh, love that reference. Not gonna lie to you, boys. So the whole I think Ohio State is my number 1 team as well. We'll have to do on Monday. We'll come back and we'll do our rankings.
Yeah, I think it's
we'll
late
just-
enough in the season where we can.
Yeah, we'll just do a blow through on this. We won't talk. We might talk about Minnesota, Bama, and then we'll blow through the rest of the list there so that we can get to our rankings. I know Texas is ranked number 1. Part of that is because they played Michigan. Michigan is not good. Minnesota should have beat Michigan. They lost to Washington. They're not a top. When they played, they were not a top 15 team at all. But they've handled business. I think Texas and Ohio State are the only 2 teams that haven't really had clunkers yet. So it'll be
Indiana.
Okay, I was talking in the top 5 here though.
Yeah, because
Indiana, I
Miami
don't-
had the Cal
should be.
game. There's no one else
They
really
should
up
be.
there.
No, I mean that was a heck of a comeback though. I'll give them that. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with Ohio State. I think it's just a matter of personal preference. I think a lot of, and this is not a shot at Christian, I think a lot of SEC fans would probably say Texas right now. A lot of Big Ten fans are going to say Ohio State because we hate the SEC in the Big Ten. So
Probably Indiana's the best team in the nation.
yeah, Indiana is actually
Curtis
number 1.
Rourke for Heisman. Indiana best team, 6-0.
Indiana national championship, boys. Here we go.
Electric.
That'd be amazing.
New Hoosiers movie coming out next year.
I would be so happy if Indiana won a natty. Okay. So next up we got South Carolina taking on Alabama in Alabama, and I'm going to do the line this time. I've been so bad about that tonight. Alabama is a 21-point favorite, and the over-under is set at 50.5. Christian, you are the resident SEC expert. We're going to have you go first.
Alabama, you hurt me last week. It was really painful. I can't trust them. I don't trust them. I don't trust our defense. I think that South Carolina's offense is very similar to Vanderbilt's, and I think that's going to be a problem. Sellers is mobile. Raheem Sanders is one of my favorite running backs in the country. I think that Alabama will win this one. They're going to have a bounce-back game, but they're not winning by 21. This is a good team. So I'm taking South Carolina plus 21.
All right. So I'll go next here. I was looking at the scores because I'm debating on taking the over here because South Carolina, besides that game against Ole Miss last week, they put up some points. Even when they lost to LSU, it was 36-33. Alabama, of course, they've put up points. Even when they lose, they put up points, right? So because I think this game is going to be a close game. I think South Carolina is going to want to bounce back after getting kind of blown out by Ole Miss. I think Alabama is going to want to bounce back after losing to Vandy. So I'm actually going to take the over here. I think that the 50.5 for these two teams is low enough. Like I said, I know they only scored 3 against Ole Miss, but if they play a lot like Vandy, I think they're going to score points. I think Bama's going to put up points. So give me the over in this game, and we'll see what happens. All right, Cam, who do you got here?
First off, it's kind of asinine that Christian's betting against his own team. I mean, even when we don't want to bet the Gophers, we bet the Gophers.
Wrong.
I have a record to take care of. I have a record.
Wrong.
I bet
Cameron.
against the Gophers once.
Yeah, we bet for Michigan that game, I think.
I do not bet.
We got it wrong.
Minnesota.
Yeah, and you guys got it wrong, so it's gonna be
that's
funny
even
when I
worse.
get it right.
But like we were stating, Alabama is bouncing back off of Vandy. I hope Kalen DeBoer shows no mercy and just demolishes them. I don't really see how they lost to Ole Miss 27-3 at home. Yet Ole Miss is top 10, but still, if you're competing with LSU, I think you should be able to compete with Ole Miss. Again, it's different weeks, but it's later on in the season. They even had a bye week to prepare for it too. So I think it's kind of lacking on the coaching side. I think DeBoer kind of understands what comes with the head coaching duties of Alabama, and he's going to have those guys fired up, ready to run through a wall, and Alabama's going to win by 30. But I'm going to take the 21.
All right, so before we get to Zach, who might have stupid pick of the week, I would just like to say, so I know that Bama's a good football team. I know that they've been upset before against like A&M, whatever. But correct me if I'm wrong. This might be like them getting beat by Vandy. And I know Vandy's a good team this year, but from a national perception, would be Bama's worst loss in a long time. Just because it's Vandy, like I said, we know that Pavia is good, but it's still Vandy, and people have that perception of Vandy. So I'm just talking nationally here. We will see. I think this is going to show a lot of what DeBoer is made of, because Bama is not used to losing to Vandy. I know that they bounced back under Saban, but I want to see what happens now. I want to see, because of the different coaching styles. So I'm kind of excited to see what happens through this adversity that Alabama's facing. So, Zach, who do you got here?
Yeah, honestly, Christian, I think you're really stupid for that pick you just put out. I mean, you're still Bama. Yes, you had your hangover week, which I think you should have won. Great teams will find a way to win that, as I've been saying this past few weeks. But I think this is Bama's bounce back game, and it's going to be a massacre. I know South Carolina is a decent team. I do really think you guys are overplaying the close game with LSU. LSU is just not good. They haven't been this year. They won't be this year. LSU is really overrated, just like I think Texas A&M is too. So I'm going to take Bama minus 21 here. I think this is pretty easy from my point of view. This is a bounce back week, and if you see how they reacted after the game against Vanderbilt, you know they're coming out really mad for this game, and it's going to be a massacre, and Bama might win this game by 40.
So here's why I took the over, because that is a big line, and South Carolina has a tendency to mess with our line, has a tendency to like play teams close that they probably shouldn't, at least in the past. I know they had that bad game last week, and yes, LSU is not good. Thank God I took the over, because I just said that they can put up points, and with Alabama's rush defense kind of the way it looked last week, they're definitely going to try to copy some of what Vandy did in their own way. So I think there'll be points scored. I think the over was a safe bet. It's only 50.5. And it's not like South Carolina is some defensive juggernaut either. So I like the over in that one. So we're Cam.
Hold on, I got one thing to say. I got a rebuttal about the A&M's bad. First off, leading the SEC at 3-0. Sure, Florida's not great, but Arkansas is not a bad team, and they just beat the number 9 Missouri 41-10.
Who said A&M was
So
bad?
I don't really understand.
I don't think
I
anyone
did.
said.
I said
I
that they're
think
bad.
we said that at the
I
beginning
will
of the
stand-
year.
I'm still saying that right now. I'm still
Yeah.
saying that
Yeah,
A&M is a bad team.
he just said that earlier.
Weird.
Hmm.
It's
All right,
it's
just
funny
had to
because
rebuttal there,
Zach
but-
and I are just flip flopped on the A&M Penn State debacle. It's like
Quite literally.
That's fantastic. I love it.
He doesn't like A&M for whatever reason. I don't know. They have huge
they're
wins,
just
and
not
Penn
good.
State is awful. So
I think they
That's
both
just-
have.
Penn
I
State
think
may
they're
be
both-
the worst top 5 ranked team ever since since CFP.
Well, since the last time Penn State was
calm
ranked
down
number
now,
4,
calm now.
when
Calm
they played
down now.
Minnesota,
I'm just
I
saying.
think they're arguably
Yeah,
worse than.
as soon as they hit number 4, they become the doo-dooest team of all time.
If they were number 5 or number 3, it'd be a whole different story. But
They let a
number 4,
PJ Fleck led Minnesota beat them when they were ranked 4. So
we
that's
beat Auburn, who beat you
So
that
did
year.
Auburn.
So I don't know why you're saying anything.
Auburn
We
beats
would've
us
beat Bama
every
that
other
too.
year because when you play them at home, you can't the
Well,
voodoo
it
at
doesn't
Jordan
matter.
Hare.
You have to win. Great team finds ways to win. So
Yeah,
I'm saying
how-
we were better than
the
you
difference
that
is-
year. We were better than you. That
How
year. That's
many
what I'm saying.
how many national championships did you win that year?
2.
The difference back when we beat Penn State though is we had Tanner Morgan, we had Rashad Bateman, and we had Tyler Johnson.
We
Compare
also
that
had
to
a
our
young
offense
Mo
now.
Ibrahim.
He was not
Exactly.
playing a whole lot.
He was still there though. He played a lot against Auburn.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Because I think
Play again. Yeah.
Williams was hurt, wasn't he, or something?
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
UCF has
So-
more national championships than Minnesota in the past decade.
Oh, okay. All right. So I just want to make a
All time.
comment from someone that's kind of like, I thought A&M may have been overrated because I thought Notre Dame was overrated to begin the year.
They still are.
So when that was a close game, I think that kind of played a lot into it. I think A&M has proven that they are better. I think Notre Dame has proven that they, after that loss to Northern Illinois, Notre Dame has shown that they're a good football club. But I will say Texas A&M and Penn State remind me a lot of each other because they have tendency to choke in huge games. So That's just what I'm putting it. That's what I'm having it at. That's why A&M reminds me a lot of Penn State, and why Penn State reminds me a lot of A&M. And I think that's why you two are kind of flip-flopped on them. So, anyways, moving on.
No.
I can do what I want. I'm the moderator here.
Penn State and A&M are not even close. Penn State puts out results year in, year out. Texas A&M is good once every 4 years, even with all the recruits that they get. I don't want to hear. I will not take this Penn State slander over Texas A&M. Absolutely not.
I said they're similar. I didn't say anything about A&M being better than Penn State.
When Penn State loses to USC this week, can I get it? Wait, can you agree that you will publicly apologize to me when Penn State loses to USC this week?
Yeah.
You heard it here. It's written in the stars.
Oh gosh.
If honest to God, I think if somehow the schedulers match these two teams up, I have no doubt that A&M would win this game.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh my God, there's no way you guys are saying this.
Drew Aller is going to look like Ethan Kalik-Manis against an Elko defense. There's no chance.
Dude, I'm just saying Penn State wins that matchup this year 8 times out of 10, and it's
eight
absolutely 8 times out of 10 they're winning that game.
Even with Singletary, A&M's going to clamp down every time you guys run play action.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good.
Just got a notification on my phone
about Singletary.
Woody Marks is better than Singleton. Moss is better than Aller.
Okay.
This is going to be
no doubt. Moss is better than Aller.
But the A&M Penn State comparison is because Aller's like this doo-doo pocket passer, and Marcel Reed is an electric dual threat guy. Penn State sucks. I'm sorry. This is my new. I said USC sucked before the season, but Penn State, this is the official Christian Otati sucks list edition. Penn State official.
We've got a new Talia hate train.
Yeah, Christian. It's not Talia now. It's Penn State though. It's just Penn State. Andrew Aller. Yeah.
This is a James Franklin. This game very specifically is a James Franklin like legacy game. If he loses this, he will never get over the fact that he can't win these types of games.
Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing he's not losing this game. That's all I'm going to say. It's a good thing
not according to ESPN Analytics. They say USC has a 51.7% chance to win.
I feel like have them to get it wrong. And also, Drew Aller is having a really good year. 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 1 pick. That's a really good year. Penn State's defense is also really good. So I don't want to hear anything about this.
What offense have they played yet? They haven't played a competent offense all year. They're gonna see a Lincoln Riley offense, and they're gonna crap their diapers. They're gonna soil themselves. There's a good pre-snap motion.
West Virginia
pre-snap motion
has scored less than 28 points one time besides Penn State, and that was to Oklahoma State. So I don't want to hear anything about this.
Who has West Virginia play?
Penn State, obviously.
Pittsburgh. They just beat Oklahoma. Oh no, they just beat Oklahoma State. So they've only scored less than 28 points or 32 points one time. So West Virginia's offense is really good, and Penn State held them to 12.
I don't think that's a good comparison.
Okay.
I've got one more thing on this. So not only does Penn State have a 2,500-mile plane trip, the state won't let them fly out of the college. So they are departing at a regional airport with a smaller aircraft that would require Penn State to make a refueling stop. Nittany Lions are making the roughly 90-minute drive to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, so they can fly out of an airport that can accommodate a larger aircraft. So not only do they have to drive out, they got to go hop on a plane then, 2,500 miles, and then they have to land there Thursday night, have Friday for practice, and then hopefully they have their legs under them.
And they're bitching and moaning about an hour and a half drive.
I think you guys are
Franklin. That was all James Franklin right there.
Yeah, he's a baby.
You guys are really overestimating a flight and a drive.
I'm not a James Franklin fan. I'm just not a James Franklin fan.
You don't have to be.
I think he has not enough hair to be trusted.
Same with PJ, huh?
Yeah, exactly. He'll give you a big win once in a while, but he doesn't have enough hair in his head to win national championships.
I don't know. PJ tell him to drink that. PJ telling the Gophers to drink that confidence juice. That was kind of interesting.
All right, move on.
Kind of weird.
All right, yeah, we can get off the stop now. We can save it for a rainy day. AKA Monday when it beats USC.
All right. Next up, and we have to get moving because I do have to go to work tonight. We have number 16 Utah heading down to take on the party school of Arizona State. Christian at first was kind of questioning why this one was in.
I still am.
I don't think Utah's as good as it's. I don't think Utah is the number 16 team in the country. I think they're overrated too.
Is Cam Rising playing? That's all I care about.
That's
I don't know.
Yeah, that's really the biggest question right here.
Number 16 Utah hoping to have
it says they're
quarterback.
hoping.
Yeah. So
They don't know if he is.
I don't like this. I hate when college teams do this.
That's why I added.
All right,
this game
well,
in,
guys, if you guys don't
Cam
like it,
Rising
I'm gonna
isn't
go.
playing.
I'm going to say this article that is written. I'll read you the first two sentences. Quarterback Cam Rising could be back for number 16 Utah. Then again, he could miss another game. Like that's the stupidest article of all time.
Really good insight right there. Really good insight. I'm going to lead this one off. Cody, you only have to be the moderator for this one. You guys are kind of worried about your picks. I'm not. I'm really confident this week. I did a decent amount of research. I'm confident right now. I'm going to take Utah minus 5.5. It doesn't matter if Cam Rising's playing. The only way it matters is if they beat him by 28 or 14. I'm still taking Utah minus 5.5.
All right. I'll go next. I think Utah's overrated. I really do. Arizona State is also 4-1 this year. They're playing pretty decent football. I think this is a hard game. I know Zach said it was easy. I don't get the hype on Utah. Cam Rising, even when he played, wasn't a huge. He's a good football player. He's a great football player. But so far this year, he hasn't been the guy of like he was in the past. It's just been a weird year for Utah. I think they're slightly overrated. I'd probably put them down in the 20s. But Arizona State has been surprising. Saying that, I'm taking Utah minus 5.5 because I think they win by a touchdown or something. I like Arizona State. They're going to keep it close, but I think Utah wins by a touchdown, whether it's in overtime or at the, just a 7. I just think it's going to be a 7-point game. But I say Utah's overrated because because Arizona State is decent, but I don't think they're world beaters. So I'm going to take Utah minus 5.5 here. Cam, who do you got?
Well, if you look at Utah's climate, they're not really used to heat. This game's going to be at 9:30 p.m., but the game time temp is still going to be 98 degrees. Cam Rising comes out. Yes, it's a hand injury, but he hasn't been practicing. The full participant. The other players, nobody's really been around this kind of climate yet. I mean, they played at home against Arizona. So, other than they haven't played anywhere.
Baylor.
That would be somewhat.
Baylor.
Baylor.
Baylor. And that would be even
That
worse.
was at home.
That was at home.
Oh, was it? Oh,
But
it's his
this is
verse.
also-
Yeah,
at
you're right.
Oklahoma
You're right.
State.
Yeah.
Hold
They
on.
played
Before
at Oklahoma State.
this is also a dry heat. I know it's still hot, but it's not. Oh, it 100% matters. If you're playing in 90 degrees and 70% humidity versus 90 degrees and 10% humidity, it's a heck of a
Yes, but we're
difference.
not
Could Cam
we're not
Rising do
talking
it
about
in a
Florida.
rainy day in Stoke? That's the real question.
We're not talking about Florida against Arizona State here. We're talking about Utah. They don't deal with any kind of heat over in Utah. So, with that being said, I'm taking Arizona State to cover. I like Sam Leavitt. He's put up good numbers. Touchdown to interception rate's pretty low. Arizona State gets rowdy. They just got a new hockey team a couple years ago. Trying to be a football school again. I don't think this is the year for them to be world beaters, but I think they can be the Utes beaters. So I'm taking Arizona State plus 5.5.
Okay. Okay. All right, Christian, who do you got in this game?
I got 2 words. Cam Scatabo. Running back for Arizona State. He's maybe the second best running back in the country right now. He is electric through the air too. And he's got almost 6 yards a carry for 600 yards. He's going to be a problem. And if I'm going to gamble that Cam Rising is either not going to play or he's not 100%, and I think that lends itself to a nice little Arizona State upset and a swift kick out of the rankings for Utah.
So you think they're overrated as well?
Without Cam Rising, absolutely.
I think they're overrated with Cam Rising.
I think you don't know.
We're different.
Yeah, I'm thinking you don't know ball.
Say what you want.
I will.
I mean, didn't Cam Rising play in game 1 this year?
I have no idea.
I don't watch Utah football that much. I won't lie.
I can't say I remember watching Utah play SUU.
He got hurt in the Baylor game, I think, right? So he didn't really get to do much of anything.
Okay. Gotcha. Anyways, I just think Utah's overrated. I think Utah's been overrated. So, Utah all the way. Which is weird because I just got done trashing them.
Did Zach pick yet?
Yeah,
I did. He was the first one to go.
I was just gonna say if this same team was on Texas A&M, you guys would not say they were overrated.
That's not true at all. Mike Elko. What are you saying
about?
Yeah,
you can't say that. It's completely different coaching.
If you thought this objectively worse team was a different team, you would think different. No, they're bad.
Same.
Okay. I'm still thinking Utah wins by 7.
Now,
so
Scatabo. I'm predicting Christian Otati, the official prediction. Cam Scatabo, 180 rushing yards, 60 receiving yards, and they're going to win by 2 touchdowns.
All right, whatever you say, my guy. All right, sorry guys, we got to get moving here. All right, number 1 Texas taking on 18 Oklahoma. Texas is 14.5-point favorites this game. Well deserved. I think Oklahoma, especially their offense, is rough. But this is the Red River rivalry, so it's a very interesting matchup. Christian, the new SEC teams, they're yours. Let's go.
Oklahoma's bad. Texas good. Texas minus 14.5. That's all you need to know.
Pretty sure
even if Ewers is back, if it's Ewers or Manning, it's Texas all the way. Three scores seems fair.
All right. I will also go Texas 14.5. I don't want to talk about Oklahoma. Their offense is terrible. I don't normally say that. Normally we're talking about the defense. But Texas's offense is going to run roughshod over them, and their defense is going to eat Oklahoma a lot. So I'm taking Texas minus 14.5. Cam, who do you got?
I will also be taking Texas minus 14.5.
All right.
That's it. That's all I got for you.
Guys, it's about that time. You know, I've been really, really lacking on missing my stupid picks of the week, but I got a good feeling about this one. I think Oklahoma defends home turf against Texas. Give me Oklahoma.
They're in Dallas. They're in Dallas. They play neutral site for this game.
They always play neutral site.
Oh, well, they're defending that.
They're defending Dallas.
Yeah, they're defending Dallas.
They're defending Dallas against Texas because that makes sense, guys. Don't worry about it. I'm taking Oklahoma money line. I would go more in depth and make it better, but Cody's got to go to work.
You don't really have to. I mean, you could, I guess, but
if Oklahoma wins this, Alabama's winning the SEC. That's all I care about.
Completely false.
Oklahoma is not good. Oklahoma is terrible. Okay. Go Vandy. Vandy SEC champs this year, boys. All right.
Watch.
We can go in depth. I still have a little time. We just can't take like 10 minutes to talk about our pick.
No, well, you already
Let's
ruined my
just
flow
keep
for this Super
rolling.
Pick of the week. You
All
already
right,
ruined my
let's
flow
keep
for the
rolling.
week.
Zach, shut your face. All right, we got Arizona at 14 BYU. Zach, you go first.
All right, I'm gonna go first. Make this quick. I'm taking BYU minus 14. BYU is the better team,
Minus
hands
14.
down. It is minus 3.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
I take them at minus 14 anyway, so I'm gonna be honest with you guys. BYU is a better team. Offense and defense might not be a close game.
I am also going to take BYU minus 14. I think BYU kind of proved me wrong when I thought they're kind of a flash in the pan sort of thing. So give me BYU minus 14. Thanks, Zach. Minus 3, I mean. Dang it. All right, I'm taking BYU minus 3. Cam, who do you got?
BYU is rolling. You look at common opponents: Kansas State, BYU won 38-9. Arizona lost 31-7. Arizona's still a basketball school. Give me BYU minus 3.
All right, well, we have some filler until Christian gets back. So Cam. Oh, never mind, he's back. Sorry, buddy. We'll have to wait till the end of the show.
Where do you go?
Again.
Oh, I was excited.
Yeah. We'll have time at the end of the show.
BYU.
I think Zach,
Okay.
I think we all agree that BYU good, Arizona not so good.
Arizona so hot cold that they need a gift to win this one.
True. And BYU minus 3, I think, is a pretty easy pick. All right, this one we can definitely go a little in depth on because it is a top 15 matchup, and I purposely saved a little bit of time for this one. We got number 9 Ole Miss at LSU, taking them on in Death Valley. Christian, another SEC matchup, so you get the lead.
Ole Miss is weird. Weird team. Don't know how to feel about them. Beginning of the year, I thought they were going to be world beaters. I think they were ranked 6th, and I was like, that's a little low because their offense was just that good. Trey Harris might not play in this game, and he is like all of their offense. He's the number 1 receiver in the country, I think, in terms of yards right now. So Ole Miss is going to be without him possibly. And on top of that, they're going into LSU. That's never easy, especially for this kind of matchup. They're going to be ruckus. I don't know. The defenses hasn't been great for Ole Miss. I'm going to take LSU here, even though I really don't like LSU. I think it's too much for Ole Miss to handle. And if Nussmeier plays okay, even at all, they should win this game.
Before I go, I was going to ask, because I haven't watched an Ole Miss game yet. A lot of it has to do with sometimes I fall asleep because I work overnights. So what do you think of their defense?
Ole Miss?
Yeah.
It's not great. They haven't played anyone.
True.
And when they did, they lost to Kentucky, but that was mostly off the back of their offense not showing up. So they're one of those teams. It's like they can't get both sides to show up in those kinds of games. Okay. So we'll see.
But they did just beat South Carolina pretty handily.
Yeah, I think that was a brain fart game from South Carolina. I wouldn't look too deep into that.
I'm pretty sure I watched that game and I was really confused on what was going on.
You're pretty sure you watched that?
I think so. Saturdays are a little hazy every now and then.
If this over-under was just like 58.5 or 57.5, I would take the over in a heartbeat. But 61.5 is a lot of points. So I know LSU doesn't have a defense. You know what? I know Christian, the SEC expert of the group, went LSU plus 3.5. I'm going Ole Miss minus 3.5. He is shaking his head at me.
This is going to be another terrible week for you guys. I'm gonna be at 60%. I'm gonna be at 60% this time next week, and you guys are all gonna be under 500. And you're gonna think, what in the world happened?
Oh yeah, you and I have picked opposite on a lot.
Yeah, this will be bad.
Besides the Rutgers and Minnesota game.
Yeah, we have some picks of the week though, which we haven't recently. It's been tough to get us all to agree on something.
And I think if we get 3 out of the 4, it should be. If we don't have enough full picks, that should be a pick of the week too. If we don't have enough like unanimous picks?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Cam, who do you got? Ole Miss at LSU.
Well, LSU's defense isn't very good. We've already talked about that. I think Jackson Dart puts up at least 300. Obviously, if Harris is out, that's kind of a big hit, but it also gives the chance for other wide receivers to step up, maybe more back play. I still think Jackson Dart will be able to figure it out. I think Lane Kiffin will be easily adjustable if Harris is out. So I'm gonna ride with Ole Miss here. Go Rebels, baby. 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with this one. With Cam on this one, I think the SEC knower doesn't know the SEC at all. I'm gonna take Ole Miss minus 3.5 here. I don't like LSU this year. I've hated them ever since week 1 and they lost to USC. I don't think they're a good team. I think they have a good offense. I don't think they're a good team all around. Ole Miss minus 3.5 is a really good pick here for me. I'm excited to go undefeated this week and Christian to lose every game that he didn't pick with me, and he's going to be almost negative again.
I feel like
Almost.
see, here's the issue. Besides certain teams, nobody has really been super, super dominant. Like Ohio State, they haven't really played a close game, and Texas hasn't played a close game. Everyone else has had clunkers. They've played close games. I think this year is a heck of a lot harder for picking than last year was.
The
I know
eye test.
Christian's at 569 right now, but the eye
I'm
test doesn't
finding
matter.
it extremely easy. So
Yes, after the first couple weeks.
I like my eye test. I haven't really been using it recently, so I need to start getting back to that.
All right.
But
well,
this is anyone's year in terms of college football for sure.
for sure. I love the parody. I
Penn
love
State.
the parody.
Watch out.
Iowa State.
Yeah, dude.
Natty Champs
Or
boys.
Indiana. Could be Indiana as well.
Or
We'll see.
Indiana. Minnesota's going to sneak in there after winning out. All right. We're going to have Minnesota, Indiana, and Iowa State in the CFP. That'd be crazy. All right. Next up, we do have number 11, Iowa State, taking on West Virginia in West Virginia. It's going to be a raucous environment. Zach, Iowa State is your team, so go ahead and go first here, buddy.
I know they are my team. I did go to school down in Iowa, next to Iowa State for 2 years. I don't know how good this team is, though. I'm going to be completely honest with you. They've looked good so far, but I don't know if they're going to be able to keep it up. I do think West Virginia is a good team. I don't think they're good enough of a team to beat Iowa State. I think Iowa State has a chance to do really good this year. I think they also have a chance to poke away the second half of the season. I'm still going to take ISU -3. I'm really hopeful for this team. I would love to see them win the Big 12, go to the CFP. So ISU is my pick, and they're going to do it because I picked them.
Iowa State is historically the worst college football team in history. So, statistically speaking, they've been really, really, really bad, except for like the last 5 years.
We're not talking historically, though. It's a present now, Cody.
Yeah, I know. I'm just throwing that out there. That's why I would love to see Iowa State in the CFP. All right, Cam, who do you got in this one?
Well, originally I was going to take Iowa State -3. But over-under set pretty low. I like the over here. Morgantown gets kind of crazy. I'm not too sure about Iowa State, but I think points will be scored. Hopefully Garrett Green can finally figure it out, because in the beginning of the season, I had him as a Heisman hopeful, and obviously it didn't really turn out in their opener against Penn State. They even had College Game Day there, and he just didn't really show out. But after that, I mean, they've been putting up points. So I think West Virginia will be able to put up points on Iowa State. It's just I'm hoping that Iowa State is able to answer back, and if they can, over should hit pretty easy. I see this being a 30-34 game. I think points will be in abundance here, and hopefully we can just ride the over wave.
All right. Christian, who do you got here?
I don't like West Virginia. I don't think that they've shown
No.
anything. I think they've lost the games against the good teams and they've won against the bad teams, and that's fine. But Iowa State's hot. Their quarterback is pretty good. They're a good all around team. Their defense has stood up pretty well to some good teams. Beating Baylor that bad is impressive because Baylor has looked all right this year. The Iowa win, obviously. They've played some tough away games, so I don't think that they're not ready for this. And I think Iowa State -3 is the way to go here.
I think that is the way to go as well. I was kind of debating on maybe taking the over 2, not because I didn't believe in Ohio State, or Iowa State.
Well, I think Ohio State is not playing.
Yeah,
and they
that's
won't
true.
make an appearance.
That's true.
If Ohio State was playing West Virginia, I'd believe in Ohio State too.
Me too. Sorry, Iowa State. I think the Clones are a decent team. I think they're personally my favorite to win the Big 12 right now. But the Big 12, as much as I hate to say it, I think the Big 12 is kind of having a down year. Like, I know they're a decent conference, but I don't think they're like anywhere near what the Big 10 or SEC would be like. So for a Power 4 conference, I think they might be fighting with the ACC for the worst. So, all right. Moving on, we have Kansas State at Colorado. I can tell you right now what I'm taking. It is Kansas State -3.5. I hate the Buffaloes right now. All right. Zach, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you here. I think the Buffaloes are. I don't know why this is anywhere close to being this weird of a line. I think Colorado is terrible. They have a few star-studded athletes and then absolutely nobody to help them out. I think KSU wins this game by 21 or more. So obviously, I'm going to take KSU -3.5.
Before I get to Cam here, I just want to say that after this game, Sanders will be throwing the offensive line under the bus yet again because I don't like him. You don't throw your offensive line under the bus. I'm sorry. All right. Cameron, who do you got in this matchup?
In this matchup, what I see is points. Kansas State, they're going to be able to put up points. I mean, they put up points against Arizona, who flirted around the top 25. I'm pretty sure Oklahoma State's flirted around the top 25 early on in the year. Regardless, sure, they might have slumped against BYU, but they're a good team. They put up points. They're rated for a reason, or they're ranked for a reason. You flip over to Colorado, they've got one good asset, and it's their quarterback and their wide receiver.
That's
wide
two.
receivers.
That's
sorry.
two assets.
Yep. Well, I was going to say offense, but it's pretty much just those two guys.
Yeah.
3 guys. But anyway, their defense sucks. I think K-State's going to be able to put up points pretty easily. Colorado will probably pull some crazy plays out like they always do and keep it close for a little bit, but I think Kansas State wins this pretty easy, but I like the over too, so I'm going to be different and take the over.
So before we get to Christian here, the other reason I picked Kansas State is because they can run the football. Colorado cannot, and when you're one-dimensional, that is bad against a decent. Like Kansas State is a good football team. I know they had that really bad clunker against BYU that week, right after they crushed Arizona.
Well, BYU is ranked 14th right now, so I wouldn't
Yes.
call that a clunker.
And well, losing by 29 as a ranked team is always a clunker. But yeah, I think Colorado. I think this line is so close is because of the Sanders effect. I think people see Colorado at 4-1 and are just hoping that they're good because otherwise all this hype around Sanders has been for nothing. Nationally, anyways. I'm not saying everyone because I didn't really ever believe in Colorado. So, Christian, who do you got in this one? It's Christian's stupid pick of the week.
Do it. Do it.
Colorado
under.
is going to win this football game.
Wrong.
Oh my God, there's no way you're saying that.
Wrong.
This is gonna be your worst week by far.
Yeah, you are so wrong.
I am so confident I'm going to put real life money on this football game.
Well, this is
wrong.
why
I'm taking
gamble safe, kids.
I'm taking Colorado money line in this pick.
Okay, after saying that, please only gamble the money that you can lose.
I don't have any money,
overgamble.
and if
Christian,
I lose
I'm not
it, I'm
talking to
going
you.
bankrupt. But I'm so
throwing
confident.
it out to the world.
I'm so confident. I think that the over's gonna hit for sure for Cam. This is gonna be like a 45-43. Shedeur Sanders is gonna have 400. Travis Hunter is gonna have 150 receiving and 2 picks. Avery Johnson is not ready for what he's about to walk into. Colorado's at home. Everything's primed. Prime. Coach Prime.
Hey, I see what you did there.
Everything's coach primed. They're just not ready. They're not ready for this.
I think Kansas State is going to follow Nebraska's blueprint and shut down Colorado's offense.
Every team has had a stinker. Kansas State had a stinker. Colorado had their stinker. These are teams. Colorado is going to. UCF is a good squad, and they beat the brakes off them. Baylor is a good team, and they won in overtime on some heroics. They're in these games. Colorado State is a really good team. I wouldn't say that Colorado is a bad team at all. I think maybe they're a little overrated in some circles, not ours, obviously, but I don't think Kansas State is ready for this. I don't know. I want to take money line.
Be confident. Take your money line.
I should probably pick plus 3.5, but I'm just gonna stay with money line and just hope that I have a good week. And then
you're not.
Before, because I do want to ask Cam his opinion on the profit sharing. We are not going to give ours again. We're just going to let Cam go because he was not here for that. I just want to say that if Colorado does win this game, I will stop calling them massively overrated. They beat UCF, who has not beat a good team yet. They beat TCU. TCU, not a good team. I don't like them. So Colorado hasn't played anyone besides Nebraska, really. Nebraska shut down that offense. So I think Kansas State's going to shut down Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. At least Shedeur. I think he's going to get sacked like 7 times. So
either way, if Kansas State wins, they're going to put up a boatload of points. Colorado wins, it's going to be a boat race down to the last possession. Either way, whatever side you guys pick, I don't care because it sounds like points. So it don't matter to me. As long as 54 points goes on the scoreboard, I win.
What?
So
all right.
you guys duke it out as much as you want.
I will.
I'm happy.
Don't you worry about it. I love duking it out. Like, I will call Christian an idiot daily if I have to.
Cam convinced me I'm taking the over.
When I go 9-3 this week and I get this Colorado pick, Ryan, right? And
it's not gonna happen.
I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna have some theme music going. I'm gonna walk in. I'm gonna do. Zach, you don't know ball.
See,
you don't know ball, Zach.
This is like the first week that we've truly picked against each other almost every single week, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, the odds aren't in your favor. I think most times this happens, Christian, I do a lot better than you. So I'm shocked right now.
I would suggest looking at the records and the pick percentage.
For now, I've started my comeback.
Please refer to the big number next to the parentheses. What does that say? What does that say? It says 0.569.
So 4? Are you talking about the 4?
No, next to the parentheses on the other
side. The thing is, though, Christian, you only have 4 more wins than me, but you also have 3 more pushes than me. So I'm saying right now, this is very easily a comeback season, and 2 weeks from now, mark it in your books. Mark it in your books, boys. I will be the best in the show.
No.
Mark it right now. Mark it right now. Mark it right now.
I can't wait to clip this. I'm gonna be so happy clipping this.
even if Christian went 500 for those
He's not.
2 weeks,
He's not going to though.
you would have to gain 11 games.
He's not going to though. So I'm not
You're
I'm
not
worried
going to
about it.
gain 11 games.
Oh, that's what you think. Until I do.
Okay. I don't think Christian's
No,
going to have
that's
that
how I
bad of a
do.
week.
I only have
that bad
three.
of 2
I only have
weeks.
3 pushes, by the way. I don't know why that says 4. I only have 3.
Well,
I just
mean,
looked
not
back
that
at
push is really,
Oh well.
not that
I'm
push is really
sorry.
counting the.
I'm sorry, our moderator's not the brightest guy in the world. All right.
it. That was probably on me. I won't. lie.
I didn't do that.
Oh, exactly. You're stupid,
Okay.
just like your fifth.
Zach, shut your face hole.
Wait. Hold on. So I put in the information, by the way, Zach. So don't go yelling at the moderator. You were 5-3-1 last week. You were 36-28-3 before that. So that's where I got the 4 from.
But why would you
Okay.
add that? What?
Hold on. We are getting to the point of like, I need to go in like 5 minutes. So Cam,
All right.
I want to hear your thoughts on the profit sharing. Like, it's obviously not in court yet. It's just it was a pre-hearing or whatever they're called, pre-trial. They're going to go to actual trial in the summer here. Cam, what are your thoughts?
All right, you ready for this? I haven't done any research on it. Don't really have any insight. I think it's kind of BS that people are trying to get their money now. But yeah, I don't like it.
Hold on.
I don't think you should be able to I don't think that you should be able to be grandfathered in.
Okay, so that's part of it. That's only part of it. What I'm saying by profit sharing is that the student athletes playing on the football teams now will be paid by the schools.
Yeah, don't love that. Don't love that either. That's what NIL's for. If you're not getting paid by NIL, do better. Sorry about it. Zach makes like 40 cents because he sucks.
Not even that.
Can't stay healthy.
I would just like to throw out that NIL would still be around, so the NIL conglomerates would still be around. Plus, they're gonna get profit sharing from the university. So
I don't like the word profit sharing. They're just paying the players. It's not a profit sharing. They're just paying players.
that's what it is. Yeah.
I get if it's a non P4, like schools that don't generate a lot of money through NIL and aren't these big ticket schools. I get if they're doing it, but like the Big 10, SEC, even the Big 12, I don't love the fact that they would be paying players because you're already bringing in all the 5, 4, top 3 stars. So you're really just taking away from the other programs, and you're just going to make it tougher for them to compete for players in the recruiting process. Because when these players come into these big schools, they're going to have so much money thrown at them already. And then if you add on the college paying them, is it a total that's generated the same by each school?
So
is it like a medium payout?
They're talking about having a salary cap, more or less.
Okay.
Like, we don't know what's going to happen.
You're still gonna have schools that aren't gonna be willing to pay it. I mean, look at our major league sports teams now. The Detroit Tigers just played the Astros, and Detroit's total payroll was around $28 million. Josh Hader for the Astros, their closer, was making $29 million a year. He was making more than their whole baseball team. You're gonna see that so much in the college football that it's just not going to be fair to the other schools that don't have the money to put up, be in that salary.
All right. I do have one more question for you because, like you said, you haven't done any research on it. So I'm just kind of giving you some prompts about other things in it.
Hit me.
So football is the only sport that runs in the green, right? They're the only sport that, unless you're a blue blood in college basketball and maybe a hockey team in Minnesota, maybe Michigan, football is the only team that makes money. And that money goes to all the other sports. So if you start sharing that profit, what happens to the other sports?
Well, the other thing is, yes, football is the big ticket for all these schools. But what you got to realize is we need to make the other sports more mass produced. Like, you look at college baseball, the environments down south, huge. You come up north, I don't even think the Gophers sell out Siebert, and Siebert's not a huge stadium.
No.
You look at basketball. You get outside of the good basketball teams, not a lot of places sell out. So what they really should be doing is pushing their product instead of relying on one other sport to keep their program alive. Go out into the community. If you got to give out free tickets for a few games, give out free tickets. Just try to pack the stands, get people interested, and that's where your profit's going to come from. You got to look for other ways than relying on football. Even though they're bringing in all the money, yes, you'll get some of that money. But what happens if your football program starts sucking and then they're no good and nobody wants to donate to the football program anymore? And you're going to get Title IX and you're going to lose guys sports, you're going to lose girls sports. And they're just going to start whacking them off. Pause. But like, look at the Gophers. We already started knocking off other sports because we're not making enough money.
What sports did we knock? Oh, track and field. That's what I was going to talk about. Is track and field is supplemented by football and stuff, but track and field is not going to generate revenue. They won't, no matter how hard they try. Okay. Anyways, we are coming up to the end of the show here. Thank you all for listening to us. Cam, thanks for putting your input on that. So we'll see you all here next week. Until then, Skyuma, go Gophers.
Because he won't, row the boat, roll golden flashes.
Go Owls.
Roll Tide.
We will see you all here next week. Thank you. Have a good weekend.